So what's the solution? Well, you can go long as well. I know, smile, Mauricio. You can pump the ball forward if you need to. Here's Turner just taking a goal kick, launching it. Sargent wins the first header. Aronson gets the ball. Pulisic runs beyond him. He plays him in, and Pulisic gets a shot that is blocked out. The USA Mauricio Pochettino era has begun. So we got the first glimpse of what he's going to do with this team against Panama on Saturday, and here is a little breakdown, basically, of the tactical things we can expect going into the future. Now, there will be a lot of things that change based on what personnel is available and performing, but at least this initial glimpse gives us a clear picture of what he is going to want to do with this team. Now, we got to see if it works. Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. And first, let's just take a look at the tactical board. Now, I have them set up here in a 4-2-3-1 because that is sort of the skeleton of the system. On the ball, it changes big time. And here are the main things that change. So let's say you have the ball at Turner's feet. What happens is that Robinson will push up a little bit higher. Ream, McKenzie, and Scally will form a back three. It becomes very obvious. Busio and Morris are the two pivots in the middle. Musa stretches out to the right side, which then creates a 3-4-2-1 because Pulisic, instead of being wide like he was under Berhalter, he's coming a lot more inside, and Aronson is operating a little bit ahead as well. So what you basically have is a back three, two holding midfielders and two attacking midfielders, and then two wide guys. So kind of like a 3-6-1 or a 3-4-2-1. And they'll definitely try and send Musa and Robinson running, and then they can sort of crash in and be sort of like wingers as these guys are all pushing up together. All right, so on to some of these clips. There it is. Mauricio Pochettino with the USA badge on his shirt. It's great to see. All right, so here what we have is this basic shape I was talking about. You can clearly see the back three of Ream, McKenzie, and Scally. Then ahead of them, you have the two holding midfielders, which are Busio and Morris. Ahead of Busio and Morris is Aronson, and then on the far side of your picture is Yunus Musa. Now, what they're going to try and do a lot of the time is use the two pivots to just establish possession, have five guys that can basically keep the ball, and try and open up passing lanes to find their attacking players. Here what you're going to see is Busio making a very, very smart movement. He checks his shoulder and starts to move away from the ball. Aronson is demanding it. He wants it at his feet, but the space isn't quite there. So watch what Busio does. He just drifts away, and then the split opens up. McKenzie, who I think did a pretty good job playing out of the back with both his feet, plays a nice ball in. Aronson turns and he's tackled in this play, but that is an initial example of what they will try to do. Here's another one. There you see the clear back three. Ball goes into Morris. He takes a look up. Now Pulisic checks in here and he's going to get the ball and he's going to just give a little flick out to Sargent. And who is the player out wide since Pulisic isn't out there? Well, it's Robinson, and he is able to bomb up the field in this system a lot more than he was under Berhalter. At least he has a lot more cover and license to do so. Now, what is key to this formation, having watched Pochettino at Chelsea, is that your two center midfielders, your holding mids, they need to be good at keeping the ball. And I think Busio and Morris did a pretty good job of it. The jury is still as to whether they're good enough defensively for this role, but here you're going to see Busio just sort of figuring out a way to wriggle himself out of pressure and find Morris. Here's another example of Morris being able to just play out of little situations with combinations. Nice little ball there to Pulisic and then back to him, and then he's away to Busio. This is going to be imperative for the USA if they're going to be successful, that the guys in those positions are able to keep the ball and maintain possession and keep things ticking over well. Now, they also have the option of playing their wide guys with big balls. Here you see Robinson. He's just on the edge of your picture, just barely coming into it, and he is pretty high, right? He's more like a winger at this point. Now, if Tim Ream were the one to get the ball, Robinson would drop in a little bit to offer him a simple pass, but because the ball doesn't go to him, Robinson can just stay high and be available for the big switch. Ball goes from Scally into Busio. He turns, and you're going to watch Pulisic here. He decides to go ahead and make a run. Now, the thing that's key about this is that it is going to take attention away from Robinson, who's wide, or seeing Pulisic just run through the heart of the defense. That means that the ball can go out to Robinson, and he is able to now join the play as a winger. This time, they're going to go ahead and send Musa. So you can see Musa on the far side of your picture here. He's in a position where Scally could have played him. Scally goes inside. Now it comes back to him, and off Musa goes because he has drawn a defender with him, so he can go running in behind. And this option is great because it put Panama in a little bit of a state of confusion. A bad ball back to the goalkeeper led to a corner kick. And actually, that is the genesis of the first goal. It's actually kind of cool to see. So Busio has the ball here, goes into Scally, into Morris, and back to McKenzie. And Jedi Robinson drops all the way into the halfway line to provide that simple pass for Tim Ream. Tim Ream decides not to use him. There's a good amount of traffic over there, so we'll go the other way. Now look at Anthony Robinson. He's right on the halfway line, top of your picture. What he's going to do is start to move forward. And as soon as Ream gets the ball, this time he's like, I'm going. So now Ream's able to play him, and the U.S. easily advance up the field. This right here is excellent work by Anthony Robinson. I mean, he cuts the ball back, is very strong, gets away from being held, and is able to just get himself out of the situation and find Pulisic. And this is the next key. Combination play in attacking areas. Pulisic gets the ball here, plays it into Aronson, and makes his job very easy by continuing his run. Aronson plays the nice little split to him, and Musa is crashing in at the back post as that opposite wingback. And he puts it away, and the U.S. go up 1-0. Now, that's all the rosy stuff in possession. There are also some defensive issues that Pochettino is going to need to address and keep an eye on. The problem is that when you watched his team at Chelsea, they had a lot of these same type of problems. And I'm a Chelsea fan, so I got to watch them recur all the time. It's going to be interesting to see how this group of players can deal with it. All right, so defensive frailties and things Pochettino has got to fix. One of the things that's difficult for the United States is going to be when teams are knocking the ball around, can they keep their shape? Can they keep their eyes on the ball and make sure they follow runners? So here you see Panama are just going to knock the ball around one touch. And the thing is, most of the U.S. players are in comfortable positions, but they are not ready. Once someone runs off the ball, everyone started ball watching, and now splits are available. And all of a sudden, just like that, in 3 one-touch passes in the midfield, Panama are through. Here's another example. This is just a build-out that beats everybody in no time. And I saw this a lot at Chelsea. The ball's going to go in back to the goalkeeper here, and what you can see is 5 players in your picture sort of aiding the press, right? So the ball's going to get dropped into the goalkeeper here, and everyone's like, okay, this is the trigger, we go. But there's way too much space between the lines, and one pass from the goalkeeper beats 5 players, and now one more big switch gets Panama in. The other issue is giveaways and transition moments, and this is why Busio and Morris are going to need to be very good. Here, the ball goes into Morris. He tries to play a little one-touch ball around the corner, but it's red, and so there we go. Bang. Now it's a transition moment, and the problem is Busio had run forward, so there is no other cover as another center midfielder, and that is exactly where Panama are able to go. They try to attack down the flank, and they do get a cross in, but it is blocked and cleared out. All right, one issue that a lot of USA fans and pundits and people have been talking about is how bad the U.S. is at building out of the back. I mean, the amount of goals that they've given up in the last cycle that were just self-inflicted were really problematic. And so what we want to see is something better than that. So let's check out some bad build-out situations. Here, the ball from McKenzie is in the air like that all the way out to Tim Ream. And I guess you couldn't have played that on the ground because it gets cut out, but then don't go there. But the ball in the air is not good because Tim Ream has to bring it down. He does well to do so and get it out of his feet to Robinson, and it allows the Panamanian players to come over and collapse on the situation. Robinson gets bumped as he tries to play the ball, but it's to nobody. So here's another example. Matt Turner. I mean, look at the quality of this pass. That is just terrible. Bouncing ball. Tim Ream's touch doesn't really help him because it's bouncing as well. And now he's in a situation where he's just kind of thinking, we got to get rid of this. So he goes long, sort of. It gets headed away and blocked. And now there's a transition moment. Ball's bouncing around. Who can get to it first? That's not a very good tackle from Busio. And here you're going to see Busio and Pulisic just both go to the same ball. And obviously, because when you do that, no one tackles and the other team gets it. Panama get in, and this is actually where Turner showed the best side of himself. Makes the first save, and then is quick to go and make the second. But all of this basically starting from his terrible ball out to Tim Ream. And that's going to continue to happen because Matt Turner's not good with his feet. So what's the solution? Well, you can go long as well. I mean, it worked in this game. I know, smile, Mauricio. You can pump the ball forward if you need to. Here's Turner just taking a goal kick, launching it. Sargent wins the first header. Aronson gets the ball. Pulisic runs beyond him. He plays him in, and Pulisic gets a shot that is blocked out. But then it's late in the game, and Turner does his 3 giant breaths before taking a goal kick, but he's going to go ahead and smack it up the field. Tillman goes up, half wins the first ball, but when it drops on the ground, he's able to get his head up, play in Haji right. Pepe makes the run inside the box. The ball is very good, and Pepe finishes. So the U.S. win 2-0, and what we saw from Pochettino is what we will continue to see. Now, there are other questions, like, for instance, what happens when Serginho Dest comes back? Does he take that role where Musa was as more of a right midfielder, or does he take Scally's spot? Or does Scally stay because he's actually pretty good at just being part of a back 3? The thing is that now it does open up the ideas for who could be where in the pool. I do, for instance, think that Gio Reyna would be better than Brendan Aronson in the team and would help a lot in the connection of play. I'm not 100% sold on Busio and Morris, but I do think they did well. You think about Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, they could also fill in that role. Musa could come inside. Now, look, it's going to be very interesting to see how Pochettino rolls the dice against Mexico. That is going to be a far sterner test. Either way, we'll see. So that's the tactical breakdown for the USA and Pochettino's first game in charge. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.